Around 4 a.m., wielding an array of sophisticated weapons. Now, the source said the attack lasted over 2 hours and about 7 bodies of Nigerian soldiers have been recovered. During the attack, the insurgents reportedly razed multiple buildings. They burned multiple buildings, destroyed operational military vehicles. They literally left behind a trail of destruction. So insecurity and how to curb it. In this case, insecurity has gone to the Nigerian military base, forward operating base in Borno State. This time around, they're not even hiding anymore for the soldiers to come and find them and destroy them. They are going to the soldiers and trying to decimate that camp before the soldiers can come to them. So from the Labour Party to the tax reform bills to insecurity in Nigeria, these are the issues we'll be discussing today on Matters. Thank you for staying tuned. At this point, I will introduce my analyst so that we can get into the conversation and talk the matter. His name is Mr. Dele Fanimo. He is a revered journalist with many years of experience. He's a political, social, and a national affairs analyst as well. Welcome to Matters, and thank you for joining me. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, and a very good new and prosperous year.
Happy New Year to you as well. Thank you so much for joining me. We're looking forward to great things for 2025, and Nigerians are looking forward to a year that will not be characterized by hunger and other economic challenges. But then let's get into the issues that we need to discuss today, beginning with that of the Labour Party, which has said that it can win an election in Nigeria without a coalition. You do know that there have been talks of a coalition and measures between the three main opposition parties, the Labour Party, the PDP, and the NNPP, whose presidential candidate in 2023 was Rabi Musa Kwankwaso. The Labour Party has come out to say without a measure, they can win. Do you believe that actually? Because after the 2023 elections, that the Labour Party been able to sustain that clout that it holds? Certain officials of the party, we've not been hearing their names, we've not been hearing their voices really as much as they should be. Have they really been that kind of opposition that they should be? The person we've been hearing who's part of the Labour Party is Peter Obi, and he's not even really been speaking on the authority of the party. He's been speaking as himself, one man, one individual, opposing the policies of the current government. Does the Labour Party have that clout like they claim they do?
Well, thank you very much. I can tell you authoritatively that remove P2B, remove obedient movement, Labour Party is nothing. And the earlier these party stalwarts realize this, the better for the party. Now, you would want to say that why would Peter Obi not be overtly involved in the affairs of Labour Party? Well, the reason is not far-fetched. Don't forget that Peter Obi was behind the Nanadi Usman 23-member committee. Yeah. Alex Oti of Abia State is also behind them. And Abure and his own splinter are somewhere. What Abure is holding on to is winning the battle, but not winning the war. Because the only thing Abure is holding on to now is the court judgment that validates his election that was held March last year, which INEC said they were not involved, they didn't supervise, and as such should be rendered null and void. Now, coming to the question directly now, I want to tell you that yes, Peter Obi can run. As a matter of fact, I see Peter Obi running as an independent candidate in 2027 election.
As an independent candidate, but the Nigerian Constitution does not make provision for an independent candidate. In order to run, you have to be part of a political party and be their flag bearer.
There's a process in the National Assembly. There is a bill that has been sponsored, and we are hoping and we're believing that it's not just the voting, running on independent candidacy alone. We're also talking about diaspora voting. Those who are outside Nigerians that are outside Nigeria that are Nigerians. There's a bill too that seeks to allow them to vote in any election in Nigeria. we are hoping to see how far that bill will go in the course of time.
So you see all of this advancing Peter Obi's cause, but not that of the Labour Party.
You see, Labour Party is just like a vehicle that you from one point to the other. If that vehicle is damaged midway into that journey, you would only disembark on that vehicle and get another vehicle that will take you to your final destination. It was because Peter Obi had issues with PDP after the primary elections that saw Atiku emerging as the for an alternative. Peter Obi could have chosen what the party that Fubara chose for his local government chairmanship candidate, which was APP. And in 2 weeks, APP swept all the local governments in Rivers. So that is to tell you that some political parties are just there for cherry picking.
And
Labour Party,
and is
Labour
one
Party
of them?
was one of them.
Was one of them? Is it still one of them?
Well, with the imminent exit of the Obedient group and the presidential candidate, then it will come back to those.
You see
era.
the Labour Party going back to oblivion without Obi being a part of it.
Yes.
Even though they've said that they would not be giving him their presidential ticket automatically in 2027.
It's just an empty threat. Who else would they have given it to? Is it you and I? This is the only person that is politically strong, and the Abia State governor rode on the crest of P2B, not the crest of Labour Party, to win that election. Look at the way House of Reps and other political bigwigs that used the vehicle to get to the Senate and the
House of Reps, who are now defecting
to another party. So that's to tell you that vehicle was just there in the motor park.
So Peter Obi can go to another party and also give them that same fame and clout and
it is not
popularity.
It's not that Peter Obi can. Peter Obi will go to another party if that bill has not been passed into law that gives opportunity for independent candidacy. But I tell you, with the look of things, what is the faction of Aburi other than holding on to the
chairmanship?
The court judgment that restated him as the chairman of the party. The group of Nanadi that is very strong, they are not with him. Peter Obi is not with him. Alex Otti is not with him. The Obedients are not with him. So what is left of Labour Party?
You're more or less saying that Aburi can hold on to the Labour Party while Peter Obi holds on to the Obedient movement.
Will the Obedient movement leave Peter Obi and go and join Labour Party? No. They only needed a vehicle, and that vehicle took them as far as they could go during the last election. So, for me,
all right,
it's a minus for Labour Party if Peter Obi should leave Labour Party today.
Let's say Peter Obi is still remains part of the party in 2027. They hold their primaries, since they say they don't want to give him automatic ticket anymore. They host their primaries and he comes out as their flag bearer. Do they have what it takes to win that election against the ruling All Progressives Congress without a coalition?
See, the game and the politics that played out in 2022 and 2023 may not necessarily be the same that will play out in 2027. Because Peter Obi rode on the crest of the fact that he had no baggages, which he does not even have up till now. But the dynamics are changing. So, for instance, there was ethnic bias into that election
in 2023.
There was massive campaign against Muslim ticket,
which still happened.
Which still happened. So that is to tell you that without coalition, PDP, the Labour Party may find it a little bit difficult to clinch the Asovila seat.
What about the other two main opposition parties, the NNPP and the PDP? Would you say they need a coalition as well, especially the PDP, which has been the main opposition since the years of the APC?
I think rim pattern, the score sheet during the last election. Labour Party seems to be stronger in opposition than PDP
At the moment?
at the moment. And I can tell you, Atiku Abubakar will want to contest election. Kwakwanso may rest his ambition, but it's very clear that Atiku may want to come back to see if we can win that election. But the only problem I have with this coalition not agreeing to terms and conditions that will make them win that election is, we have seen in this country where a governorship candidate was adjudged to be the winner of an election just because he scored just 43%. In some cases, 47%. That's not a good mark. But the point is, the other gladiators on the other side in opposition, they probably don't have that cohesion. And so they will split the vote. You imagine next election now, you have Kwakwanso holding on to Kano with about 3 million votes. You have P2B holding on to South East, part of South, and probably some part of Southwest with little
With
showing.
certain number of votes.
With little showing in the north.
And then the PDP.
Then PDP also has a broader appeal in the north. So what that translates to is Kwakwanso will take like 6% of the total vote. P2B will take like maybe 25 or 24. 24 plus 6, that's 30. And then Abubakar may take about 25 or 30 or 20.
Yes, that's
55.
Still leaving the larger percentage
So
to the ruling party.
If Tinubu takes 45%, he will be adjudged the winner.
Hmm.
But now, imagine if there is a coalition. A coalition will secure 3 million votes, which is almost like half of the total vote of South. More than half of the Southeast. You know. And if that 3 million votes is in the kitty of the opposition that have come together, then you have the whole of Southeast coming and part of South coming to put their own quota there. Then the North, there's a kind of balancing where probably the incumbent president and Atiku would be head to head. When you add those three parties together, they will make about 55 to 60%, and there will be a winner on the side.
And they can phase out the APC.
Yes, I've said it sometime late last year that when Ajimobi won his second term, his total vote percentage was about 47. Yet he won because there were other two strong politicians who contested in other political parties, and they shared the other votes of about 60% between themselves, and they eventually lost the election. So coalition is the best and is the right place to go, is the right way to go.
For all three opposition political parties.
Yes, now opposition parties, they should come together. They should bury, in the interest of Nigerians, they should bury whatever ambition individuals have. Let them come together and wrestle power. But if they're going to go into that election fragmented, there may not be any dice.
All right, then. You're listening to Matters right here on Voice of the People 90.3 FM. The voice you've been hearing belongs to Mr. Dele Fanimo, and he's our analyst on the program this afternoon. My name is Choma Innocent. I'm the host, and we're talking about quite a number of topics, from the Labour Party insisting that it can win the 2027 elections and pull its weight without a coalition, to also saying that there will be no automatic ticket for Peter Obi, as was before propagated by the Labour Party and Julius Abure. But right now, it is thrown open to anyone and everyone who wants to be a part of it, who wants to contest to be a part of these primaries. Let's talk about the tax reform bills that have been generating quite a lot of controversy towards last year and even into the new year 2025. Northern politician and elder statesman Buba Galadima went on TV to say that the bills are only fair to Lagos and Ogun State, and not just that. He said the tax committee failed to meet with any governor except Lagos State Governor. He also said that the panel did not consult with Nigerian governors or northern leaders, and that they just went ahead to do their own thing. But the chairman of the Presidential Committee on Fiscal Policy and Tax Reform, Taiwo Oyedele, came out to say that this is not true. He pushed back on the allegations, talked about how they've been meeting the League of Northern Democrats, Muslim clerics and ulamas, and even the governors. But instead, the governors pushed back and refused to meet with them anymore. I just want to ask, there's several aspects to this bill, but it's just one part of it that seems to be generating this controversy.
VAT?
Yes, VAT.
Yeah. You see, the northern elite, I know Galadima very well. I've been to his house on a number of occasions when I was the MD of a national newspaper in Abuja. And I know his position on some of these things. You see, my quarrel with some of these people that are intervening in these tax reform bills is the fact that they don't have broad knowledge of the content of those bills before they come out to chime. You see, what VAT predisposes is the fact that it's work and eat thing. They want to take it away from the idea that you just sit pretty well in your state. You abhor what brings VAT, beverages, alcohol, and some other things. And these are consumed in places that you abhor. You don't want to have a nightclub in your state. You don't want to have an open bar in your state. Alcohol drinking is forbidden. Yet you want to take a larger share of the VAT proceed from alcohol. It doesn't work. What government has done is the state that these items are consumed takes the largest chunk of about 50% of VAT. Then I think federal government takes about 15% or so. And what the government says is most of these items are luxurious items. Nobody recommends alcohol for anybody for good health. It's your choice. And if you are taking it, the proceed of you taking it should be used for a purpose that will serve you and make you feel good. Well, where you say there is Sharia, you don't want. When you see truckload of alcohol, you seize and destroy. Whereas in some places where they consume this alcohol, you want to square up with them that you want to share even more than what that state is supposed to get. It's an aberration. So the likes of Galadima is an old man. He should be in his early 70s or late 70s. I don't know. They should, if it requires calling somebody to assist them in interpreting what is contained in those four laws, for them to
you
understand.
think they've not done such wider consultation for them to keep
most of them
opposing it this way?
You see, most of them, I've interacted with some of these people. Most of them, when when you go to them as journalists to ask them questions, there is always a line of thought, and that line of thought is we no go agree, we no go agree. When you now take them to the depth of that discussion, they draw blank.
So you're saying it's more of a sentiment.
Sentiment. That's all. Sentiment. Because our people say no, and that sentiment is also from the perception of mutual distrust. If it's not coming from me, I'm not going to allow it go. If it's coming from you, I'm going to suspect you. That's what is going on. And a country with so much diversity cannot move on until we begin to think and begin to act based on merit. The merit of those tax bills, the four of them, outweighs the demerit. If you now want to say you are not comfortable with any of these bills, articulate your point. Tell us why you don't want this part of the bill, and then we'll subject it to debate. Not that you just throw the baby with bath water. It doesn't work that way.
All right, then you're listening to Matters right here on Voice of the People 90.3 FM. We'll be opening the phone lines very soon, but right now we're discussing and analyzing the issues that are making headlines at the moment. This is Matters on Voice of the People 90.3 FM. I'm your host. My name is Chioma Innocent, and right now we're talking about the tax reform bills that has generated quite a lot of controversy with many northern leaders in opposition to it. Now, why I pointed out that the bill has different parts, and that is the only one that has been causing all of this controversy. There were reports that President Tinubu has been trying to send emissaries to the northern leaders in order to actually get them to be on the side of the tax reform bills, and a lot of people were actually on the side of the president, saying that these tax reform bills would actually help Nigerians, especially when people who earn below 800,000 naira do not have to pay tax at all, rather than before where they had to pay about 7% or so. Then when we come to the derivation, the derivation part, right, I was reading a report where this person opinionated that the people who are opposing the new VAT model are thinking that the 60% of VAT revenue provided for sharing based on derivation in section 77 would follow the current model where derivation is attributed to headquarters remittance, but that is not the case. Now, this person opinionated that with the new Nigerian Tax Administration Bill proposal, VAT will be attributed to the place of supply and consumption, and not necessarily the place of remittance, which currently favors places with many company headquarters. When we talk about this, what many analysts like yourself talk about is, they don't consume alcohol in the northern region, but yet they want to get what comes out of alcohol. But is that really the only thing? Are we saying that they do not have a point at all in opposing the VAT?
You see, before now, only people in the formal sector, particularly salary earners, pay tax, PE, personal income tax, and all that. But now the tax reform has remodeled it to capture the big mongoose who make billions of naira every year and still evade tax. It is even a soft landing for people in the lowest rung of the ladder. For instance, if you are not earning up to 1 million naira, it will be tax free. If your business has not grossed, your turnover has not grossed 50 million in a year, you are exempted from paying tax. So more relief to the poor and burden to the rich. Now, if you gross over 50 million naira as your turnover in a year with the new tax reform, you'll be paying 25%, which is what is done across the world. I remember my second cousin who just graduated last year from a university in Canada. She was a valedictorian, and when she got a job, she got a very good job in a fintech company. But the only thing, the alarm she raised was when she got her first pay packet. You know what she said? Say, uncle, they have taken my money away. I said, what happened? Said they took as much as 33%. as tax from her. I said, that is the way it is in a civilized society. Because this tax is used to develop that place, and it's also used to give social security that would take away criminals from criminal acts, from crime, because they get social security. So part of this money is being used to safeguard you, to protect you. And that's what they want to introduce in Nigeria. Let the rich pay and let the poor breathe. That is one of the reasons for this new tax reform. So how would you say that kind of thing shouldn't happen? That people who are suffering, struggling day and night, they cannot put food on their table, you are still taxing them. Then the other one is they are trying to bring to tax regime. Before now, if you are traveling from Lagos to the east, when you get to Begadia, you are already out of Lagos. Ogun State people will catch you and they will ask you for one or two things. As soon as you step close to after Shagam, J5, you are already in those states. I said, those people waiting for you. When you get to close to Asaba, there is Delta people waiting for you. When you cross on Onitsha Bridge, another tax people waiting for you. At the end of the day, there is multiple taxation. And whatever this man asks of you is the next one that the other person will ask of you. There's no uniformity. And so a lot of loopholes were there until now. And that's what one of these bills is trying to address. So in all of this, if they understand some of these things, they will know that they will be changing their people if they want to throw away this tax. I am not a marketing executive for the federal government, but that is what is contained in that bill. And let's begin to engage ourselves. Is it that we are saying there are 4 bills? You can't tell me all the 4 bills are bad. I like the one that is not good, either for your people or for the generality of the masses of this country. Then we can now take it up from there. Not that you say the 4 should just be packed and thrown into dustbin of history. I don't see any logic in that.
All right, Mr. Fadimo, let's move forward in the conversation. You're listening to Matters right here on Voice of the People 90.3 FM. My name is Chioma Innocent. I'm your host. Very soon we'll be opening the phone line so that we can hear from you on the issues which we are discussing this afternoon. Let's talk about insecurity in Nigeria. All right. So gunmen have reportedly imposed about 172.7 million naira levy on 25 Zamfara villages, forcing the residents to flee in fear of violent attacks. They're fleeing for their safety. Now, according to a counterinsurgency publication focused on the Lake Chad area, it's called Zagazola Makama, the gunmen, they're called Danisuhu, demanded contributions in kind. They demanded bags of soybeans from the affected communities. They actually imposed different levies, different amounts on different communities, ranging from 5 million naira to 20 million naira on each of these communities, with threats of attacks, threats of violence on those who fail to comply. While we're talking about this, the tragic report broke that the ISWAP terrorists have attacked an army base, the forward operating base in Damboa local government area of Borno State, killing an unspecified number of Nigerian soldiers and leaving many others still missing. The attack reportedly occurred on Saturday, January 4, 2025 at about 4 a.m. when these terrorists stormed the task force brigade wielding an array of sophisticated weapons which they proceeded to use to wreak havoc and cause chaos in the forward operating base. Not only did they kill soldiers, but they also burned operational vehicles, just leaving behind a trail of destruction. Mr. Fanimo, here is my question. Whenever you see, even right now, if you go and check the latest video of the chief of defense staff, they will tell you that we are fighting insecurity and we are winning. But with these kind of examples, are we really winning the fight against insecurity? And why do we get reports of these tragic occurrences? Meanwhile, on the other hand, we have the people who are supposed to be protecting us telling us that we are winning, but it doesn't look like it.
You see, we're fighting an unconventional war. It's different from conventional war. Israelis are attacking the Gaza Strip. Russia and Ukraine, that's conventional war. But when you have a breach of national security and the players are even your citizens, most likely, and besides, these are ragtag armies that are gone underground to do pocket of attack on soft targets. So it's a very difficult thing for the military at this time. And that's why it's difficult to really quantify how much ground have they been able to cover in the fight against insurgents. You see, in the northwest, including Zamfara, the pocket of insurgency is different. There is, according to report, there is active connivance of community members in what these people are doing. You know, when somebody who wants to take over your community wants to approach you, it's not going to be too violent. They come as saviors. And when the local had embraced them, they now unfall and begin to do what they had planned to do initially. Most of the time, these people, according to what report we got, were actually there to protect those who are doing illegal mining. And one thing about terrorists, mercenaries, bandits, is that if you give them a job, they will do the job very well. But it's like a politician that has political talks. Win or lose election, those political talks, except when they see somebody who is bigger than you, who is deeper in pocket than you, they will not let you be. Because they don't have any other means of survival other than to cause trouble. So, no matter what is going to happen now, the insurgents, the bandits, are not ready to leave that territory very soon.
They are not ready to leave that territory very soon.
Very soon.
Recall that we also have Lakurawa operating in Sokoto and Zamfara State, which the Nigerian military is saying that they have chased them out. We have Beloturgi also wreaking havoc in other parts of the north. We just had another name, and ISWAP, they're also still very active from what we're reading, from what we are reading right now, right? So all of these names, banditry, terrorism, we even still have some Fulani headsmen preventing people from going to their farms and all of that. What I really want to focus on is the fight against insurgency. How about we get the truth of the real state of affairs at the moment, rather than saying we are fighting and we are winning, but every other day we get reports of attacks of certain people being killed, a certain number of people being murdered in certain villages, soldiers being attacked and all of that. These people even seem to have more sophisticated weapons than the Nigerian soldiers. Where are they coming from?
You see, the
proliferation
of
weapons,
arms, started during the Arab Spring, when there was a kind of sweeping of governments in Algeria, Tunisia, Libya, and all that. So those are the routes through which these small arms come in. And there is no let up to today in Libya. There is just semblance of peace in Tunisia and Algeria, and even Syria. So it's very easy to bring in arms from this route. So don't look beyond that. except when you want to look at the report that says 2.2 trillion naira
Was paid as ransom.
is in the hands of non-state actors
As ransom.
as ransom.
Paid for kidnapping.
Yeah, that is the captured ones.
Hmm.
In some areas, people kidnap for as low as 20,000. There was a time somebody was to be buried in the east, and kidnapper took over the corpse, and the family of that particular dead person had to pay because that weekend was the burial, and they couldn't just go back to wherever they came from without burying their beloved one. So, when you have such huge amounts in the hands of kidnappers, non-state actors, you can know
They can
what
channel
they
it
would-
into
what they would
buying these
channel
weapons.
that money into. Because you find out that when you catch some of these so-called kidnappers, there is no air of wealth around them. You see that they're looking unkempt, unfed, and you ask yourself, somebody who is collecting 100 million naira ransom, you hardly see him as somebody who has 5,000 naira in his pocket.
So you're saying they are collecting and remitting.
That's what I'm saying. So they are also fueling this armed struggle, arms attack on defenseless Nigerians, using those money being funneled into buying arms and ammunition.
So it's more or less the people in trying to rescue their loved ones who have been kidnapped by this terrible element, indirectly paying for the proliferation of arms in the country, and more arms will keep coming in, and we'll have these non-state actors having more sophisticated weapons than the Nigerian army.
Yes, it's not far-fetched, because there is no way those monies will not find their way back to the arms factory. Because why do we call them terrorists? They instill fear. You imagine somebody, a non-state actor, parading in your community with general purpose machine gun, GPMG. How would you imagine for a soldier to come out with that kind of sophisticated weapon? It means he's going all out for war.
To protect you against these elements. But then when you see it in the hands of these other
the
people,
elements that are even threatening you, instilling fear, causing you a lot of emotional, psychological, physical harm, then what do you say? So it's quite it's quite unfortunate, and we need to also support our military. They are not magicians. We need to support their intel activities. Intelligence gathering is not rocket science. It is what we put out to these people that they will use and process to fight this war. But where the community is hand in glove with the person you want to attack, it's a difficult job to do.
Thank you so much, Mr. Daly Fanimo, for coming on Matters this afternoon. You have been listening to Matters right here on Voice of the People, 90.3 FM. If you're just joining us, you've missed quite a lot of the conversation. But then the conversation continues with me taking your calls and reading your messages on WhatsApp and on YouTube. We're streaming live on YouTube. All you need to do is head on over to the app. Just type into your search bar VOP 903 FM. Once you do that, VOP 903 FM, you can get to watch us live and direct and see what's happening right here in the studio. It's about time for me to take your calls on the program. Call me up on 0700 903 903 903 0700 903 903 903, and I'll take your calls. This is Matters and Voice of the People, 90.3 FM, 0700 903 903 903, 0700 903 903 903. That is the number to call to be a part of the conversation this afternoon. Now, before I begin to take your calls, I'd like to just give a brief reminder of the topics which we have discussed this afternoon right here on Matters. First up, we talked about the Labour Party saying with or without a coalition or a measure, it can replicate what it did in the 2023 elections, and also insisting that there is no automatic ticket for Peter Obi in 2027, but instead the presidential tickets, the governorship ticket, the House of Reps and others will be open to anyone willing to contest their primaries who would then emerge as the flag bearer in 2027. So we've been talking about the possibility of the Labour Party replicating its clout in 2027 with or without the presence of Peter Obi in the party, who was the presidential flag bearer in 2023. Then from there, we talked about the tax reform bills, where Buba Galadima actually accused the tax committee of not going all out and doing all it can to meet with Nigerian governors. But the chairman of the committee has come out to say that is not the case, and the governors instead refused to meet. Then we went ahead to talk about the insecurity, where gunmen have imposed 172 million naira levy on 25 Zamfara communities, forcing villagers and residents to flee the community in fear for their lives. Also on insecurity, we talked about ISWAP attacking forward operating base of the Nigerian army, killing an unspecified number of soldiers, leaving many others missing, just leaving behind a trail of destruction, tears, sadness, chaos and anarchy. All this and more we've talked about right here on Matters. So call me up. I want to hear from you. 0700 903 903 903, 0700 903 903 903. That is the number to call to be a part of this program. Mr. Fanimo, just before I take on this call, right, I want to ask you this question. I just need to answer it for like 1 minute, right? Certain Nigerian soldiers have come out to decry the kind of weapons that they are given, and some that they're not even given any weapons at all, and that they're just left in these army bases. And then sometimes, when these bandits come to them like this, they cannot even defend themselves, apart from the fact that they're coming as early as 4 a.m.
Let me tell you, the prosecution of a war determines the arms and ammunition that should be deployed.
So this is the time to arm the military more than ever before.
So now, if a criminal element had gone ahead of you in terms of arms and ammunition, the only thing government could do, one, to protect the state actor that is defending the territorial integrity of the nation, is to provide him that weapon that can match and surpass the ones that are in the hands of the insurgents. So, to that extent, I think it will be appropriate for government to allocate the right weapon and the right quantity of ammunition to these soldiers and other military personnel that are waging this war against. And a matter of fact, these days, for prosecuting such an attack, do we really need guns? We have jet fighters. Nobody fights infantry war again. Nobody fights what do I call it now?
That is to say, nobody fights these bandits with outdated weapons.
Yes. Now it should be an area battle. But unfortunately, we hear of targets being missed, civilians being killed, and all that. And so they need to re-strategize. 2 air raids could be enough for all these things to just die down. And then you now use the infantry as mop-up. You now use the armor personnel as mop-up for remnants of what you have decimated through air raid. I think we should begin to look at the possibility of handling this crisis that way.
But when air raids happen, sometimes civilians are hit.
That's what I'm saying. You see, there is no war that does not take its collateral damage along with it. The important thing is, if you notice that some strange people are massing around your community, if you cannot shout, excuse yourself.
All right then, 0700 903 903 903 0700 903 903 903. That is the number to call to be a part of this conversation. I want to hear from you. 0700 903 903 903. Call me up and let's have a conversation on the issues we have discussed this afternoon right here on Matters. What's your name and your location? You're my very first caller for the day. Welcome to Matters. Hello, are you there? You're going to have to give me a call back. 0700 903 903 903 0700 903 903 903. Call me up and let's have this conversation right here on Matters. I've been talking to Mr. Dele Fanimo on the Labour Party saying it can replicate what it did in 2023 and 2027. Do you believe that? The tax reform bills and, of course, insecurity in Nigeria. Welcome to Matters. Good afternoon. How are you doing?
Fine, maybe. It's on the line.
Welcome, Nemeka. How are you doing today? Happy New Year.
Listen to you. We spoke last day.
Yes. Thank you. Please go right ahead with your.
Yes. My greeting to our guest.
Yes, Mr. Dele, he can hear you. Yeah. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Another thing, my point goes I led to Labour Party. Abure, Apapa, and the Alabanbi. That money they collect to utilize that party, they will eat it.
Which money, Nemeka?
I don't know. But
you don't know, but you're saying they collected money.
Listen,
which means you're not sure about that.
The way they are being told that they are essentially to disadvise Nigerians, them a choice of movement. And they have assisted, succeeded in killing that party. When they say they will win the 2027 election with the party, let us go there and see.
Okay.
Let me see whether somebody with 20 stomach can wrestling and succeed.
Thank you, Nemeka.
And another thing again is this: the insecurity. Nigeria government has to work on it. Let's be honest. Nigeria government has to work on insecurity. Because it's the same thing to listen, they are attacking our gallant soldiers. It's insecurity that target their gallant soldiers. That means you are doing something to them. This is all I have this afternoon. God bless you.
Thank you so much for your call, Nemeka from Ejigbo. Welcome to Matters. Good afternoon. How are you doing? What's your name and location, please? Hello, are you there? All right, give me a call back. Want to hear from you? 0700 903 903 903. You can send a message on WhatsApp to 0817 175 6338. Welcome to Matters. Good afternoon. Hello, are you there? Welcome to Matters. Hello. Good afternoon. How are you doing? What's your name and location? What's your name and location, please?
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. What's your name and location, please?
This is Babalola from Agodoma.
Welcome, Babalola. Thank you so much for your call.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, Mr. Dele Fanimo is here as well.
I'm migrating to Mr. Fanima.
He hears
Thank you
you
so much.
Yes, ma'am. So my take is on insecurity. My advice to the citizens of those states affected by that insecurity is that all of them should rise up and protest to their governor office. They should demand for his resignation. If he cannot solve that insecurity within 24 hours, we will see whether that governor will be very comfortable, whether he will be comfortable in that office anymore. But it's because of us, we don't know what we are doing. That's the reason. If they can, all of them, they can unite and rise up and demand for his resignation within 24 hours. We will see whether solution will come for that insecurity or not. Then my second thought is this Peter Obi issue. Labour Party, they are nothing. If Peter Obi exceeds from that party, you will see that they are not anymore. So let's it out. We just work on himself, and you know what we do before 2027. That's my take.
Thank you so much, Babalola. Good afternoon, and thank you for calling 0700 903 903 903 0700 903 903 903 and WhatsApp it's 0817 175 6338 0817 175 6338 on WhatsApp. You can send a message. You can also call me on WhatsApp, and I'll take your calls. I can see your messages coming in on the WhatsApp platform. To keep them coming, thank you so much. And those who are commenting on YouTube as well, thank you so much. We really appreciate you. This is Voice of the People 90.3 FM. If you're just joining us, the show is Matters, and we're talking issues that affect you and I as Nigerians. Welcome to Matters, and good afternoon. How are you doing today?
Hi, good afternoon.
Good afternoon to you. Happy New Year. Welcome. I hope you're doing great.
Yes, and you?
I'm well. Please go right ahead.
Concerning the insecurity in the country, especially in the southeast and the northern part of the country, honestly, I can say I play politics with it. You understand? Because you can tell me people there, normal same people there, cannot fish out bad eggs there. They know these people. The politics are just using it to collect money, the security vote money and all that. But as for Labour Party, they are nothing without people, to be honestly. Every Nigerian craves for change. So if people can even go to any platform, I am telling you, it will pull out all the crowds. Some of us now, it was even last year I voted. I have never voted before. So these are the kind of people who enjoy that kind of popularity. If anything, people believe Labour Party today. Labour Party is dead. That's just my take. Thank you.
Thank you so much for your call. Appreciate you. 0700 903 903 903 0700 903 903 903. That is the number to call to be a part of these conversations. I want to hear from you, so call me up. We're streaming live on YouTube on VOP 903 FM on YouTube. Join us to watch what is going on in the studios live and direct. I want to hear from you. My name is Chioma Innocent. What is your name? Welcome to Matters.
Hello, good afternoon.
Hi there, good afternoon. How are you doing?
I'm all right. Please, I'm Mr. My colleague from Nigeria.
Welcome to the conversation.
Yeah, I want to speak on the insecurity in Nigeria, mainly in the northern part. You know, some time ago, you know, Dubai people brought some names of the terrorist sponsors in Nigeria. And they sweep the whole names under their badge. And since then, I've been expecting all the social media houses to ask, why must Mr. President keep those names? Along the line, then they said they have rehabilitated, so number of Boko Haram, fighters, the system in the military. The military are going to fight Boko Haram. Those people will pass information of what, that military are coming to do. And they will ambush them and kill all of them. So I want to believe that this insecurity, it can never stop. Nigerian military can fight it to death, they can never win this war unless those sponsors were phased out. And they stopped fixing Boko Haram to Nigerian military.
Thank you. Thank you so much for your call. 0700 903 903 903. That's the number to call to be a part of this conversation. Welcome to Matters. Good afternoon. How are you doing? Good afternoon to you. How are you doing today? Hello, can you hear me?
I'm hearing you.
All right, please go right ahead.
I am.
You're going to have to give me a call back. I can hardly hear you. 0700 903 903 903. If you cannot get through via direct call, please send a message on WhatsApp. It is to 0817 175 6338. 0817 175 6338 on WhatsApp. Guess what? You can also send me a message or send me a message on WhatsApp. Call me on WhatsApp. I'll take your calls and I'll read your messages before the program is over. Call me up 0700 903 903 903. Welcome to Matters. Good afternoon. What's your name and location, please?
Good afternoon, Choma. I'm Kevin calling from Okoto.
Welcome, Calvin. Happy New Year to you. Please go right ahead.
So the problem we have is.
Are you there, Calvin? Give me a call back 0700 903 903 903 0700 903 903 903 on. Yes, give me a direct call right there. Then on WhatsApp is 0817 175 6338. Welcome to Matters. Good afternoon.
Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. How you doing? Happy New Year. What's your name and location, please?
I'm fine. This is Victor calling from Ikeja.
Welcome, Victor.
I also greet your
the guest. He greets you too.
Manager.
Yeah, thank you so much.
So my stake is on the merger talks and what Labour Party said about 2027. You know, as a party, I don't even expect them to discredit themselves. They have said they can get winning in 2027 without any merger. But the truth is that the ruling party, which is All Progressive Congress at this moment, it will only take more than a coalition of two parties to take more than two to win them come 2027, because they have taken over. So what they have done is what PDP did on 26, 25. You see, there is no way you can unseat the current administration without a strong alliance. So when parties, when they don't want to come together, it means they don't have the interest of the Nigerians at heart, because they just want this particular administration to continue destroying the country and suffering and frustrating the people. But if they have the people in mind, if Atiku Abubakar, Kwankwa Sura, and people, they have people interest at heart. I think by now they are supposed to have come together to talk about this party, creating another party or alliance, because that is the only way to win this present administration, to remove them in power in 2017.
Thank you.
2027. That is my take.
Thank
and again,
you so much.
Please, I want to use this audience now to appeal. I am looking for a job. I have HND in accounting, just in case there's any way I can get any job around Lagos, Ikeja, or anywhere. Thank you.
All right. Send a message on WhatsApp, okay? If we have anyone willing to reach out, we'll let you know. Thank you so much for calling. Thank you so much. We appreciate you. 0700 903 903 903. Before I continue taking calls or even messages, Mr. Fanimo, on this issue of the merger and coalition, what I want to ask is, this talk has been going on for a long time, but every time it comes up, it's almost like a different information. But everyone keeps saying this, they're open to the possibility of a measure, but wants to posture like even without a measure, they're still good. But the PDP, the Labour Party, and the NNPP and their respective presidential candidates in the 2023 elections, what if there might actually be something in the works? You know that the ruling APC has been accused more than once of fostering chaos within other political parties. What if there's actually something going on, but they're keeping it hush-hush in order not to let the APC know about it or be a part of it, or give them that chance to destabilize the measure like they've been accused of doing of other political parties?
Politicians in this part of the world, they have a kind of flippant attitude to politics. I remember when I went to a meeting in Kaduna some years back as a journalist. At that meeting, even not a single journalist of their extraction was allowed into that meeting. And much later was when we got to hear about what transpired at that meeting. It's a big hall. How they were able to sniff and pick out journalists that came from everywhere. They didn't allow us to go in. And when after the meeting, somebody was just told to talk to us. What we got from you was what we published, but it was later that we discovered that it was not actually what transpired at that meeting. But conversely, bring a meeting to the south, either southwest. In fact, southwest leaders are the worst part of this kind of arrangement.
How so?
Right at the meeting, as they are progressing, as they are solving one problem, they are busy chatting, giving details, graphic details of what transpired at that meeting, to the extent that by evening, everything would have been exposed to everybody, including their adversaries. Now, you see, granted the fact that I know that these three gentlemen would likely work at cross purposes. But like you said, if there is no big shot in politics today in Nigeria that is not close to at least few journalists that they can disclose some of these
something
things.
like that too. So there's no way a measure will be in
There is
the works, no matter how
way.
hush hush it is kept,
There is
that
no
it will
way.
not, the public will not know about it.
It will burst from the seam and everything will be let into the open.
All right, we're still taking your calls right here on Matters. 0700 903 903 903 0700 903 903 903. Let's head on over to YouTube and take some of your comments. Tochko Adele says, "Good day. I shudder from shock of fear at Peter Obi and the Labour Party's greed, which has cost the people these huge losses and has continued to cost even unknowingly worse. What can be won alone now?" Olugbenga Bamidele says they're claiming the raw materials of alcohol is from their place, so they will enjoy from the VAT too. Tochko Adele says, "Look, our clarion call right now is Peter Obi should rejoin the PDP and offer to be a running mate to the PDP flagship, possibly Atiku, so that the APC could be defeated to wipe the people's tears." Tochko Adele says, "What a hell of a ride with Daily and Chioma this afternoon. The Dr. Tutors having done their work at training. As I do, let every listener relish the entertaining enlightening of questions and answers." Obiara John says that is the bringing. I'm thinking you won't say beginning. Olugbenga Bamidele says we've left so many spaces for bad people to operate. All states in Nigeria should have air monitoring equipment. If we can monitor election with airplane, why not border communities or the mainland roads? Tochukwu Adele says tax bill should be trashed. The mood of the country right now does not prioritize taxes because the only people's benefit from government being subsidy has been taken away, and I am advisedly not saying removed. Look, people shouldn't pander to the ethnic contest of the tax bill. The low-hanging fruit as minimum wage earners not paying tax are just cosmetics to further more harshness the bill intended to tell. Really, Tochukwu Adele, look at the subsidy removal savings. Have they used any of this money is being made public other than merely stating what trillions have been saved to do what with? All right, heading on over to WhatsApp. This person says, Okay. Good afternoon, Chairman. Your guest, Labour Party, is saying they will do better in 2027 with or without Mr. Peter Obi. What are they doing now as an opposition party to challenge the ruling party? They are busy calling Peter Obi. Afternoon, Chairman. Read my message in full. Abacha said in his time, if terrorism lasts 24 hours, government knows about it. If APC government should tell you good morning, check your windows. They denied buying yachts, jets, jeep for senators, renovating GP's lodge with billions, etc. Military has been compromised and has stunned politicians doing eye service and hypocrisy. Good afternoon, Chairman. And no elect should be sworn in while the court process is on. Chima from Sulere. That's not what we're talking about, Chima. On Labour Party, the party is dead without Peter Obi. Tax reform, 10,000 naira transfer, attract 15 naira tax, and lower income earners are to be exempted. How? Insecurity. Where are the security agencies that always get intel on protesters and their sponsors? Why don't they apply that same avenue to get intel on insecurity? Until the 400 names of sponsors of insecurity in Nigeria are dealt with, Nigerian government in particular is joking about fighting insecurity because the body language says otherwise. Good day, VP family and the analyst Francis from Command Road in Ipaja, Lagos. Thank you so much for your message. Comrade Uba Ojo says, good day, presenter VOP. I thank God for the analyst daily that you are having this afternoon in the studio. He has dealt creditably the issues in the front burners of Nigeria's polity. All the obedience worldwide and even members of APC and PDP who doesn't want support to be openly are patiently waiting for the passage of the independent candidate bill. Then you will know that Nigerians massively voted for Obi and not Labour Party. They will repeat and even vote more than what they did in 2023 elections. Hashtag matters. Greetings to you, Chioma, and your erudite and dispassionate analyst. My first time of hearing his name and listening to him. His analysis concerning the issues with Labour Party is clearer and with more clarity. Okay, Abure just holding on to the carcass of the Labour Party, while Obi and Oti are the soul, spirit, and body of the party. Abure is being used to fan the embers of balkanization of the party. Phil in Okota. Good afternoon, Chioma and Dele. The security operatives should continue deployment of personnel mounting roadblocks in the southeast, where there is no war or terrorism, extorting the people of the region. Meanwhile, Middle Belt and North, where killings of citizens and security personnel persist, they are nowhere to be found. Zamfara villages have been overrun by terrorists. Ezekiel from Ejigbo. Sorry, my name is Chris from Ejigbo. Hi, good afternoon, Chioma. Compliment of the season. You see, on the issue of Labour Party, they cannot win any seats, both Senate, House of Reps, House of Assembly, or governor in any state without Peter Obi. Quotes me, they're just making mouth. Thank you. Okay. Thank you for your message. Tinubu travels for Mahama's inauguration. Some of these events are supposed to be delegated to ambassadors by a cost-effective government. Let's cut the cost of governance by all means reasonable. There is an ambassador to that country who is just collecting salaries from hard-earned taxpayers' money. Forward your speech via email electronically and keep the resources properly appropriated. Olushoga Ajayi from Odonla in Ikorodu. Thank you so much for your message, Olushoga Ajayi. Jotex Moses on YouTube is saying he was only one Nigeria again. Biafra freedom is a must. Well, that's not what we're talking about right now. Jotex Moses 0700 903 903 903 0700 903 903 903. We take two more calls and then we'll call it a day right here on the program. You have been listening to Matters and Voice of the People 90.3 FM. My name is Chioma Innocent and I want to know, what is your name? What is your opinion on the issues we've been discussing? We've been talking about insecurity and how it's affecting Nigerians in different regions of the country. These are issues that need to be tackled so that in 2025, Nigerians can wake up for one day and not hear bad news. Nigerians can wake up for one be happy about the country that we live in and see the efforts that the federal government and even the state governments are making to curb insecurity in the various regions of the country. Call me up on 0700 903 903 903. Welcome to Matters. Good afternoon.
Yeah.
Hello, how you doing? Welcome to Matters. Good afternoon.
Yeah, good afternoon.
Good afternoon to you. What's your name and location,
Hello?
please?
Yes, my name is Peter from Misala.
Welcome, Peter.
Yes, I want to answer your guest here that is saying all sorts of glowing things about the tax reform.
About who? About the tax reform bill? You have a problem with what he said about it?
The way he was saying it as if it will be better than the profit they get from something the Google policy. So it's going to be the same. Let it not just waste our time. All those people, you don't be more better than all we are saying. So this is just a waste of time to look for another people to alleviate the suffering of Nigeria. Those who can never solve it. They are not going up to what they have gotten this present almost 2 years now. People are suffering. So that one, let them not tell us all those type of things. The best in the policy, but nothing is included in it. Going to be the same.
Thank you. Thank you for your call. 0700 903 903 903. Welcome to Matters. Good afternoon. How you doing? Turn down the volume on your radio set. Turn down the volume on your radio set.
Hello.
Hi, how you doing?
Hello, Chairman.
I can hear you. Good afternoon. How are you doing?
Hello.
I can hear you. How you doing? Welcome to the show.
Okay. What I'm trying to say, your man in the studio there, your analyst, is actually saying the right thing. But what I'm trying to make out is, the war in the north is between the Hausas and the Fulanis. So the Fulanis are trying to invade the whole places in respect of removing the Hausas from where they are.
But wait.
You mark it very, very well.
Are you there? Can you hear me? Hello, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Yeah, but there are certain places where it's at this point it's not even Hausa Fulanis. It's people who speak the same language, people who live in the same communities, and these bandits and terrorists are operating in communities that they know. All right. So when you talk about these Hausa Fulani agenda or Fulanis trying to take over or something, how many regions is this actually happening? Apart from the Middle Belt and Plateau people who are complaining that many of them complain that this was right. So when we talk about the insecurity, it is not an ethnic thing. Hello, are you there? Can you hear me? Hello, are you there? Can you hear me? All right, I'll take one more call and then we'll call it today right here on the program because we need to go. Unfortunately, that call is not going through and I can't take any more calls on the program this afternoon because we need to go. Mr. Dele Fanimo, thank you so much for joining me on Matters this afternoon. I wish we could continue the conversation, but time is not on our side at the moment. But I'd like to get your concluding thoughts in 30 seconds on everything we've discussed today.
Tax reform, scrutinize, and arrive at favorable conditions that will better the lot of Nigerians. Insecurity, improve on intel, and engage the communities that are affected. On P2B, it will be a total loss if Peter Obi should leave Labour Party today because there won't be anything left of Labour Party. Thank you. Thank you
so much, Mr. Dele Fanimo, for joining me on Matters this afternoon. Thank you so much.
It's my pleasure.
Thank you. And thank you for listening as well. Thank you for watching on YouTube. Thank you for sending your messages via the WhatsApp line. Thank you for calling. Thank you for listening. Thank you for your contribution. Thank you for your opinions. Thank you for your suggestions. Thank you so much for your comments, for your messages. I thank you so much. It's the very first edition of Matters this week. Matters will make a return same time, same station tomorrow. My name is Chioma Incent. It's a new year 2025. Do something different. Do more. Do better. And just like I always tell you, it's not just about what the government can do for you. It's not just about what the country can do for you. You do the best that you can in your own little corner of the world in order to make